Hello, and welcome to episode 39 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. Before we start today, we have some breaking news that I just would like to touch on first. We have the results of the Pro Tour Fantasy Draft. And guess what, folks? I won. Not that there was ever any doubt from me. I knew.
Morty.
I knew when I drafted.
See, I have some objection to the results.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
because Pablo Pintor lost in round one of the top 8, and Matthew Foulkes won the tournament.
Right.
Which would give Flake the same score as you.
Have you ever played a fantasy sport?
Oh, I have. Yes, I have. I'm not Flake. So, I know how this works.
Yeah. So for any onlookers that are like, what the hell? Abby ended the fantasy league with Swiss with 36 points, and I believe Flake had 33. Pablo acquired no wins in top 8, and Matt Foulkes, who was on Flake's team, 3-0'd top 8 to win the Pro Tour, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Which, if top 8 counted for points, would result in a 36-36 tie, and then Matt Foulkes winning the tournament would break the tie because he was the highest finisher. However, in every Spanish fantasy sport that's ever existed in the history of humanity, people that participate in the postseason of the actual league do not contribute points to the fantasy league because their points and accumulations have already been accounted for. And like, we only use the top 8 or the playoffs and things like that for tiebreakers. So top 8 did not matter all for point accumulation in the context of our fantasy draft, which the foreigners in our draft,
the foreigners, holy shit, they're not a band from the 70s. What the
particularly the Canadian.
Well, okay, foreigner.
The most exotic of them all had a hard time. We had a couple of people actually not from the United States in our group, and both were new to the concept of fantasy in general. We had Az from the Cult of Azalea leader, Living Legends podcast, who's great.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been on our show before. And then Matt DeMarco, Flake, Instant Speed, Channel Fireball coverage. You know who Matt DeMarco, Flake is. They both. Oh my God, this whole thing last night, Matt's like, wait, so if Matt Foulkes wins the tournament, do I win the tournament? We're like, why would you do that? Like, no. And he's like, well, we picked individual winners, right? I was like, that's not what nobody. And he goes, he said on coverage today, he goes, I didn't know the rules because he was trying to get Craig Crimples to agree with him. And
Crimples
Craig
goes, no.
Well, Craig goes, is that the rules that was set out at the beginning? And Matt goes, oh, I don't know. I don't know the rules. And I was like, if only the game master wrote a 2-page document explaining all of the rules to people so that they could have a handy little reference. If only he did that.
If only
it was pinned in the group chat that all of the game players had access to. If only he thought to do that.
No,
if only he was very type A and laid out everything ahead of time so that there were no guessing.
Jesus.
But alas, I guess we live in a world where the Canadians don't know how to access pin posts. So congratulations, Abby. You deserved it. The Possum Posse was your team was actually insane. And
it was a great performance. And then but now you owe that entire team Possum t-shirts, right? You have to send a Possum t-shirt to New Zealand?
Well, I don't know because no, well, Pablo's the only one that's responded. I know Dagan wants his shirt. He's been very clear about that. So I need Kevin on the team to give me a link for the shirt, and then I can order them. Obviously, Dagan's is the easiest to get to him because we know where to find him. But I still have to hear back from the other 3.
Right now, probably in a bar in Lille. It would be my guess as to where to find Dagan.
Yeah.
Listen. Dagan did great. The whole team did great. So the team again was Pablo Pintor, Matt Rogers, Dagan White, and how do I say Kevin's last name before I
Kevin Briar?
Briar.
Yeah.
Briar. Yeah, there we go. So great job to them
this
weekend.
Everybody on your team made day 2. Everybody on my team made day 2. I think there was one other team that ever had everybody in day 2. Was it Flakes?
Flakes did. It looks like Flakes did. Tommy's technically did, but Yuki decided to play the Calling instead, which turned out to be a good thing for her. Like we'll talk about.
Yep.
It looks like Keith's team did as well.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh,
yeah,
that's right. He had a good finish. Yep.
Yeah, Keith came in third. Yeah, it
Yep.
went Abby at 36, Flake at 33, Keith at 33. Flake got the tiebreaker there because of Matt Foulkes winning, and then Logan, came in fourth at 31.
Yep.
So Tommy at 30, and then I kind of dropped off there after that. But it was a very fun event. I don't know if I'll run it again, to be honest. We should talk about this as a show probably, but the fact that LSS doesn't publish the standings on their own is awful. Like thank you to Michael Hamilton for sending them to me.
Mensch, that man. He is that was clutch work by Michael Hamilton at Hadesblade on Twitter if you care to follow.
Great gameplay podcast. Great competitive gameplay podcast as well.
Yes.
MNR podcast, I believe so, yep. But we would not have been able to calculate the result without him. Like
I think at the US based ones we can still do it pretty easily because one of us will be there.
Right.
Just repping, I guess. So like at Worlds we can do it pretty easily. I'll be at Worlds.
That's fair. That part's fair. But I hope that people that follow this kind of want to do it on their own, like with their own groups. It's very fun. If you have any questions about it, reach out. I have a rule document that no one will read that I can send you.
Perfect.
But get 5, 6, 9, 10 of your friends and do a little Pro Tour draft and maybe throw in $5 or a couple booster packs or something as a prize and whatever. The backers that backed Abby, the 13 or so that were assigned to her team, you're gonna get Abby's already reached out to you to get your addresses. Once we get that stuff, I'll deal you out individually to the losers and you'll get your prizes and stuff. That's how
deal you out individually to the losers.
Yeah. Wow, what a sentence.
Yeah. So yeah, all of that just to say I am the champion and I wanted to start off with that.
You are. Congratulations.
Be here forever.
Funny context Logan, for Abby's win. Sorry, Abby, go ahead.
Logan, I just want you to not take it personally. I have beaten Jordan in every fantasy game we've ever played. So I'm just very good at it.
She's undefeated lifetime.
I do not take that personally. You definitely took the player I had in line to take first. Had he made it to me and Pablo Pintor. You drafted very well. You drafted a clutch fucking team. I don't fault you. You sniped 2 people out from under me because I would have taken Dagan on the wheel. As he's a local and a friend, and so the support would be there. If you would have gone to a team that was non-Flesh and Pod related, I probably would have flipped shit. But instead, at least it stayed in the family.
It felt right to at least be with one of us.
Yeah. So no hard feelings. I understand. I do not take anything away from your victory. It was not tainted or flawed in any way. And congratulations on kicking the living fuck out of all of us.
It's funny. We went to a concert last night, and so we ended up in this Waffle House at like 12:30 in the morning last night afterwards. And I am cooked, as I'll explain in a little bit. Yeah, actually, Abby woke up sick, but I woke up fine because my body's disgusting and it can process diesel. So, we're sitting in the bar in the Waffle House at 12:30, and I'm like, we're both dead. I've been up. I have 6 hours of sleep over 3 days because of this goddamn Pro Tour. Like, Abby is like, oh, I think I won. And I was like, well, we can calculate it like tomorrow. I don't want to like pour through JPEGs of Michael Hamilton's camera right now. And Abby was like, no, let's do it right now. So we calculate everybody's at the bar in Waffle House last night at 12:30. And I was like, oh my God, I'll format it tomorrow. I'm tweeting it tomorrow. I'm not doing this right now.
But on the topic of disgusting digestive systems, I was out at Hibachi on Thursday night instead of playing Armory. Abby, I'm going into what I did in Flesh and Blood this week. Instead of playing Armory on Thursday, I went to a buddy's birthday dinner at a local hibachi joint that is a fucking great hibachi joint, and ordered straight up.
Is it the Lilo and Stitch one?
Ohana, yep.
Okay.
And I ordered the filet mignon, and with this place, I always tell the chefs, cook it the way you'd cook it for you. And the guy's like, I like my shit hot. And I'm like, fuck my mouth. I don't care. And he's like, that's a lot. And he made everything at a spectacular spice level. And I'm just like, yep, this tastes amazing. I'm totally into this, and I'm going to regret everything I'm doing in roughly 6 hours. And I did. It was destructive, but god damn was it delicious.
Are you an egg yolk sauce person?
No. So eggs and I have a complicated relationship. I don't like the taste of egg whites. I don't like the taste of egg yolks. However, a scrambled egg is fine. Sure.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't get it either, but it is what it is.
Good to know.
So and then Saturday, I guess yesterday, for those of us who are in the current and not in the future, I played an armory, took third, went 3-1 with playing Phi convertible to mid-range, and I had to convert it to a mid-range deck literally every matchup, outside of the Dorinthia one, which is the one I lost. Dorinthia is really hard to beat with Phi, by the way. Like, you don't block that great. And Dawnblades get counters. It's not good. And the person that was playing it, a friend of ours, Josh Freeland, you've met Josh. He has it pretty well teched for an aggressive meta by playing Twinning Blades. Just to, okay, well, you let this happen. All right, here we go. And going off on these big Twinning Blade turns. So that hurt a lot. But then ended up beating Ice Lexi built to fatigue. And then I think two Bravos. So that was rough. I will say that the armory was won by Azalea again. However, I am not going to leak any details of this list.
That's crazy.
Love it.
The list is see it. Perfect.
I love it.
I and a whole bunch of people in their cars just went like, I do not believe you, but I want to be wrong.
This is correct.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's crazy shit, but it actually works. Watching somebody win a game with a take cover boggles my mind. They even arsenaled the wrong card. But yeah, right? Didn't matter.
Yeah, why would it matter? Just who cares?
Just kill them anyway.
Yeah. De-react reload you. All right. Sure, that's a reasonable card.
Yeah, 0 for 4, just a sink below with reload. Great. Jordan, what do you get up to outside of a Grizz concert?
Yeah, Grizz was great.
What is a Grizz? Can somebody help me out here?
I don't know what like it is like a noun, but Grizz is a DJ from Great Britain.
So I need to I've been to EDM shows before, but frankly, every time that I was at one, my brain was literally candied. So I don't remember why it was cool. So can you fill me in? Because I just remember a bunch of lights and a person at a laptop.
That's basically it. You've nailed it.
Oh fuck! Okay,
it's great vibes.
So because I remember the pretty colors and
yes,
I remember the bass rattling my testicles, and that's about it.
Well, that's actually the best feeling in the world. I'm addicted to that. Like when the bass rattles your chest and you feel it inside your chest. That is a feeling I'm addicted to. So that's why it's great. I've came around on the going to shows. I don't particularly like concerts as a thing, but I've came around on it because we're
not the same.
yeah. I don't like crowds and that kind of stuff and the bumping and jostling. But Gritz is a DJ from Great Britain. He's filled the role of heavy bass that's been left in the scene because some of the bigger players had some stuff come up and so Grizz is the new heavy bass guy. So for those of you that aren't EDM people, start with Grizz if you want to see what it's about.
I guess you could start with Skrillex, right? Because he's the Nickelback of EDM.
Yeah. People. But with respect, people like Skrillex. He came from a punk rock background actually. Correct. And then got into the EDM scene, and that's he's much lighter. But like Skrillex is actually very diverse and he can do housey stuff that's like very light and fun and very like dirty bassy stuff. But Skrillex is definitely mainstream. A lot of people our age might remember Darude Sandstorm. If they like the house music kind of thing, like the you'd remember the song if you heard it. It was like very, very mainstream.
I think that you overestimate how mainstream I am.
Sure. But yeah, so that's what we did Saturday night. As far as Flesh and Blood though, Monday, because we recorded Sunday, so Monday played a pickup game online with Jacob and Mitch, who are local guys here. I've been playing a lot of Viz lately, Viscerai, and I really enjoy it. Like the turn play patterns are fun to me. Tuesday I played in a CC Armory and went 2-1 and lost to Dory, which I just in my brain have not accepted the fact that you either need to block with everything or block with nothing, and my little head just can't handle that. So and Doug plays it very well, so like it's his like he would marry Dory if she would let him kind of thing. So
if cardboard could consent. Yeah,
exactly. So he's very good with her and enjoys playing her a lot. So definitely has the edge in that matchup just because he knows the hero inside and out. And then Wednesday, same deal. Played a couple of games online. I actually meant to go to like an open play / like play night, but kind of got distracted after work. Was building decks to go to that, and then got like in a Discord call talking about games, and then ended up playing games. And I was like, oh, it's too late now to like leave because it's like 30 minutes away and like all that. So ended up playing a couple of games online. Thursday played. What did we do Thursday, Ab? Did I play Thursday?
I don't think we played Thursday.
Oh, you're right. Thursday we took off. We actually just watched like Hard Knocks and like chilled and stuff like that. Hard Knocks, the NFL show for people that don't know. And then Friday, great. Friday, nobody will get that reference. Friday we played an armory after getting up at 4:30 to watch the Pro Tour. Watched the Pro Tour from 4:30 till I had to go to work, which I work from home, so that really just meant then go watch the Pro Tour in a different room. And then worked all day, went to Armory, and that last set I didn't get home until about midnight, and that was the mistake. Okay, this is where my week went off the rails.
This is where it unravels.
Okay, yeah, this is where you like we have jumped the shark. A reasonable person.
That's a Happy Days reference for those who don't know.
Yeah, there you go. I am Fabio on the motorcycle over the shark that is beyond the board. Okay,
that's Fonzie, not Fabio, but at least
what did I say? Fabio. He's the shortstop from Seattle. It's a reference other people won't get. I'm full of them. See, again, 6 hours, 3 days, folks. This is what you get.
That's what you get.
So go to Armory. Didn't need to. I was loving playing. Should have just went to bed. Should have went to bed as soon as I got off work. Didn't. Went and 2-2'd CC Armory on Friday, and I wasn't very happy with it. I beat a friend of the show, Josh, in a close Viscerai mirror where I had some sicko turns. That included like a Sonata to pick up on a race face into a meet and greet or race face with an action point off of a lead the charge into Rosetta Thorn. Like the term was dirty.
That's
yeah. I got the erase the face off the Sonata, pinged him for 1, and he took it because he was like, well, he didn't. Oh, that's the other key part. There was a meet and greet in the Sonata pile. So it was meet and greets, non-attack action, erase face. I picked the erase face. He lets the 1 go through. He's like kind of confused,
That you didn't take the meet and greet? Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then I was like, oh, well, that's okay. I'm going to pitch this blue and play a meet and greet. And he's like, God damn it. And then I played the other one. He's like, oh, okay. And then I played the lead the charge, and he's like, this turn's disgusting. So like got to do all the things. It was fun to do it with him because he's played Viz a lot longer than I have, and like we talked about some lines that like I could have worked out better and stuff. Like Become the Arcanite is such a hard card to cast, and it's a tutor, which is cool, but it's complicated, and we talked through lines, so I got a lot better. But at this point, I'm also cooked for my life. So anyway, go to bed around like 12:30, get up at 4:30 because there's Pro Tour to watch. Do that all day, go to the concert, why on earth at any
Waffle
point
House.
I have what's that? Waffle House, right? So we go to bed at 12:45 last night. Got to be up at 3:30 because top 8 starts early, babe. You know,
Does, baby.
You can't quit. So watch top 8 all day today. Phenomenal. Watch
Only until like 8. Like
yeah, we thought it was
going
to go till noon. Yeah,
no.
We said, hey, let's record as soon as it's over, probably around noon. It's been over for like 3 or 4 hours, and it's 1:00 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So
Briar go fast.
Yeah. We watch all that, and then there's an F1 race, and because of the way that I consume Formula One, I have to go on media blackout until I watch it. So I was just like, I can't not be on my phone because of the Pro Tour today. So I'm going to watch the F1 race. And then we eat lunch, and now I'm here. So I am on 6 hours of sleep for 3 days, and I probably sound like it.
More important, Jordan, why are we here?
I don't even know what that means right now.
Because we give the people what they want, Jordan.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're animals. Yeah. No, I as tired as I am, I would not have changed the way that I did these 3 days for anything.
Perfect.
Wouldn't
That's
have
all
changed
that
all the flesh and blood. Yeah, like the coverage was so good, man. And we'll talk about the Pro Tour and shit, but it was so good. And like the games were so good. And it was better than probably any Magic Pro Tour I've ever watched. Like I've had a phenomenal time, and I'll let Abby describe her week of Flesh and Blood, and then we can get into the Pro Tour. But that was a long description of me to like just say I'm tired.
I think it's important.
It. Yeah. Anyway, Jordan, I'm sorry for taking forever.
What did you forget? You did something this week that you didn't talk about.
I have no idea.
Do you have any idea? Okay. So any of our listeners, if you remember some of our earlier episodes, one of Jordan and I's things is that we open cards together. Always together.
Oh God.
Regardless of if it's Flesh and Blood, Magic when Jordan played that, baseball cards, it doesn't matter. We open cards together.
Oh my God, guys, I'm sorry.
Jordan came home this week and was like, oh, I got this pack of baseball cards and is telling me all about it. And I go, oh, are we going to open it? And he goes, oh no, I already opened it. Like it was nothing. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
To be clear, I got bullied into opening it at the store that I bought it at. Yeah, this was at the Armory. The Armory we played on Tuesdays in the Columbus Convention Center.
I do have a question though. Abby, do you know where the cards are now?
No.
I took the door off.
Really?
So
what is keeping you from knowing that, Abby?
We did. It was a we.
There you go.
Yeah.
However, your barrier of entry, literal barrier at this point, is gone. Abby, where are the cards?
There's actually still a barrier. Also, I have not gone downstairs, so I can't.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen it. Although it's on fucking video, you're like, no, that's a background. He's got a background going
in the shot.
I have
literally in the fucking frame.
I haven't. Anyway,
you can tell me where. Can you see Magneto? He's right there. Like,
no, it's weird. I can only see like this. It's just like the outline of your guys' face.
Good thing I'm pretty.
So yeah, I didn't play any Flesh and Blood this week. I obviously consumed a lot of content because I've slept about 6 hours. No, 8 hours. I slept a little more than Jordan. So yeah, we'll just get into that. That's all I did. Oh, and I won the fantasy draft, if you forgot.
Yes, that was a very active participation thing that you did.
All right, so let's start with the Pro Tour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Finished today. So Matt Foulkes won with Briar. Top 8 had 4 Briar, 2 Prism, a Viscerai, and a Dash.
Briar's really close now.
Yeah, Briar's quite close. 842.
Yes, that sounds right.
Got 100 from the calling. So yeah, it's at 842 now. I love this top 8, to be honest with you, though. There's 5 heroes. There's a bunch of other heroes in the top 16, top 32. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Like, I think it's fascinating. The rumors of Prism being bad were completely dispelled. Everybody knew Briar was good. It's really interesting that even though when I talked about last week, calling not necessarily being indicative of results at the Pro Tour, I was dead wrong.
Yeah.
This straight up looks like the outside of what you're missing a you're missing a phi. Yeah, you're missing a phi. Otherwise, this is the Calling Singapore top 8. This is kind of incredible that that I don't know if there were shifts or if Dash was always that good, or I do think that people slept on Prism, and then the Prism stands, although there are Prism stands that didn't play Prism. But the Prism stands were in there hard with a little bit of innovation in the deck lists. Yeah, it was kind of incredible. Watching some of these games, honestly, the Christian Hauck winning in game was the Dash Prism was unreal to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a masterclass, honestly. Everybody was in the chat was like criticizing, oh, he's dead now, there's no way he can do anything. And he's just, anytime he picked up his deck and counted it and had like 12 cards in it, they're like, nope, he can't do it now, I'm sitting there going, he's just going to keep shooting this gun for one over and over and over until he hits the point in his pitch stack that he knows he can maximum velocity and kill them. And then he did it. And chat's like, oh, whoa. And I'm like, except for Capolo, who's just like, no, Prism's dead. Like, Capolo doesn't say much else. It's just no, because he's played Dash a ton. And he's just like, nah, Prism's dead. And I'm like, I'm gonna listen to that guy because he's played a lot of Dash and played against a lot of Prism. Capolo's very good at this. Andre Abbiani, for the who doesn't know, and it was amazing to watch that game. There's so many good games, It's hard to pick out singulars, but that one did stand out to me.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one that stands out to me, and this could be a recency bias thing, it was the fourth quarterfinal between Foulkes and Ian Zhang. Yeah, they played a phenomenal Briar versus Prism matchup as well. That if I'm in either seat, I lose. Most games on stream, I'm going to say most, some games on stream you can watch and go, yeah, if I were in that winning player seat, I could have also piloted to a win, right? Like I could have, it's pretty straightforward, either because of the matchup or because of the way the draws lined up or whatever. This is one where if neither player plays perfect, the other player wins. And if I am either player in that, I lose 99%
of the time.
Yeah. Like, it was incredible to watch both of them navigate. Matt won through a missed channel Earth trigger that he worked really hard to set up. He was going to keep it around for a third turn and missed the trigger, and then still won. So it was a very, very good match, and that's one that stands out to me kind of off the top. But you're right. I mean, pick any game. If you haven't watched it, go watch the VOD. Yeah, start at the beginning.
They're very good.
Yeah. You could probably skip drafts, I guess. But
commentary wise, I was super impressed by Romain Nicholas. Honestly, watching the pure joy of the triple Lumina Ascension in the first round of CC. He was, and Flake did the correct thing of just let him cook. Like, this man is currently in his happiest of places. Let him do it.
That was fascinating.
It was absolutely, because he's just describing the entire time, this is how this person dies. And I'm just like, I don't actually know what this interaction looks like, but I'm now priced in. I want to see this shit.
Yeah.
And then it goes off and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And then Flake with the perfect line of Lumina go boomina. And I was like, man, Matt, this is why you're the best. And then honestly, even some of the oddball pairings with Pleasant Kenobi getting in the booth, he did a really nice job, honestly.
I think he did. I really liked, I was nervous. And then he did a very good job.
Yeah, because he just did the thing I think is important for people who are not necessarily as familiar with this game, and just asked questions on commentary. Like, I don't know what this means, and was kind of doing that.
Yep.
And that gave openings for Romain to just explain what was happening. And it was awesome. It was such a good little interaction. That was fascinating. Coverage was A+ as per normal.
Imagine being Romain and doing that well in your second language,
right,
or probably your third. It's
probably your third, but I just can't.
It's Europe. They all know 10. I think they have to, or they get shunned or something.
Well, they're born with 3. And then so and then clearly a joke, but I was thoroughly impressed the entire weekend. Gottlieb actually broke Tannen twice, where Tannen just couldn't not laugh on camera, and that's quite perfect.
You mean Crimples?
Sorry, yeah, Crumples, yes, correct.
You're okay.
Brian did not show up. Brian had COVID and could not make it. Crumples is just and Crumples did some SCG stuff back in the Magic days too, and he was also just perfect in there too. Like Crumples and Jerry or whatever who was in the booth with him was always great. And he would just throw these one-liners out there, these throwaways, to see if he gets made to break. And it's really cool dynamic, so I like that a lot. They even made like the matchups that didn't feel interesting when you saw them, they made them interesting by narrative. So A+ work out of the coverage crew. No notes, do it again, every time.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Any other big
what
call-outs?
else about the Pro Tour here?
Yeah, a lot happened. It's a big weekend. Do we have a heel in Flesh and Blood?
We might, especially
depends on how you view heels, I guess. Yeah,
that's true. And that just depends on how you view the personalities involved. It's I did make the joke earlier before we came on. I'm like, I wonder if Matthew Foulkes opened a gold foil Flooded Strand. But and that's one for the Magic players.
He'll sure ask for another one. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that those are daggers. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Matt Foulkes and his win, because he did win. He did win a Pro Tour.
Oh, his deck's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a deck building masterpiece, if nothing else. There were criticisms that we saw coming from the event on his maintaining game state and making sure that things are announced and correct again. But I think it's time to start drawing some distinctions. And because there were some conversations going back and forth in Discord. And so we're going to use the most obvious one. That is, we're going to use two examples. One is Mask of Momentum, and the other one is Snapdragon Scalers. When you're attacking and you're threatening a mass trigger, you don't have to tell your opponent you're threatening a mass trigger. They know what Mask of Momentum is. They can pick up the card and read it. They know how many attacks have already hit. That's public information. You don't have to announce it. If you choose to announce it, great. You totally can do that too. Either way, but not announcing that there's a mass trigger on this hit is not scummy behavior, especially at the competitive level.
Not even
that
kinda.
is not even kinda. That is just 100% the public information. Same thing with Snapdragon Scalers. It's like, if your opponent asks you, does that have go again? And you say no. You don't have to say, but I have Snapdragon Scalers. I can give it go again. You don't have to tell your opponent that. They can look. It's public information. They can elect to say, no, but I do have a Snapdragon Scalers and I can snap it and give it go again. Like, again, it's not bad to tell them if you want to, but it's not scummy in the slightest to not tell them.
Right.
It is not your job in a competitive environment to tell your opponent all the little lines and tricks that you may be playing,
especially the ones that are face up for everybody to read.
Correct. Yeah. And now there's some distinction there. I mean, in an armory or whatever, if you're helping new players or whatever, those are probably a good time to do those things.
You might have like a moral obligation as a competitive player at a casual environment. I don't think you do. You might. It's a discussion that's not in this conversation, but like,
and I do draw lines personally with players in my own local group where if I know that they play competitively, I'm going to hold them to a higher standard. Sure. Versus people I know who are just coming in. I'm going to announce that this is going to trigger Mask of Momentum if it hits, versus I'm playing in somebody who I know plays in Callings or I know has played in ProQuests or whatever. I'm not going to announce it necessarily, because one, it's good for them to get used to the fact that somebody might not tell you. So when you are going to those events and you're not feeling like it's compulsory, it's not. That's not scummy behavior at all. However, if you're playing with your board state or moving things around to make it so your board state's not obvious, now we're crossing the line into scummy behavior. Not representing or giving a literal misrepresentation of any resources that are available. That starts to cross the line into scummy behavior. Not representing the flow counters on your channels. If you're playing channels, that's scummy behavior.
That's just blatantly illegal.
Yeah, literal illegal.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely some lines of cleanup here that it could give you an advantage if your brain can, if that kind of obfuscation, is that the right word? I think so.
Yeah, obfuscating. Yep.
Can basically make an opponent or make another player not understand what's going on, then we're starting to cross lines. And there were some instances, much like UK Nats, where it felt like people said that those could have been that was happening. And so that's going to be a conversation that's going to continue, sadly. It would have been nice to put it all behind us. But that also contributes to the fact that we just might have our first Flesh and Blood heal.
Yeah. For anybody that is confused about these gray areas that we're discussing, or like, and in my opinion, there's not really gray areas. There's like things that are legal and things that are illegal. And I think the tournament policy is actually like pretty well defined on that. That's actually where you should start, is the tournament rules and policies document on FabTCG's website. And I can make a point to, hey, it's Tuber Show. And I can make a point to link to that in the show notes. But about what is public information, what players are required to disclose to one another, things like that. So like you don't have an option to not track your resources for your opponent. Anytime that you cast a spell and have resources floating, you have an affirmative obligation to tell them. For example, most people just do that with the dice. But you have an affirmative obligation to say,
resource dice.
Yeah. The dice, hashtag James, we need the dice.
We need the dice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're ever confused on that, or like, start with your tournament rules and policies document, start with the comprehensive rules. These documents kind of guide you through things. For example, it is literally a definition of cheating in the tournament rules and policies to let a life total discrepancy exist. If I notice that Logan has himself at 2 and I have him at 1 and I'm correct, if I'm not correct either way, I have to let Logan know we have a life total discrepancy. I can't like attack him for 1. He go no blocks. I'll go to 1. I go, actually, you're dead. Gotcha. Ha. Like things like that you could go, well, it's both of our jobs to keep track of life totals. No, per the tournament rules and policies document, you have an affirmative obligation to fix misunderstandings like that. If your opponent isn't a native English speaker and they don't think you have a Snapdragon scalers, you get a little gray, I guess, but like, hey, what equipment is that? I have a Snapdragon. That's a Snapdragon scalers. Like, it's, you don't have to like tell them what it does because there's judges for that, but what card is that? Things like that. That is what is the text on that card. Like, you have affirmative obligations for that. There's a whole bunch of defined things and penalties and what you have to communicate with your opponents in these documents. Please read them if you're going to play anything above your skirmish level events. To prevent you from like getting cheated and getting sharked and putting you in an uncomfortable position, and also to prevent you from trying to take advantage of rules and then doing
illegal shit.
Yeah, things that aren't good. So, but yeah, we might have our first heal. It's tough because it could just be sloppy. Some people are not technically good at keeping track of the game state. Again, at the Pro Tour, you have an affirmative obligation to do so. And with people's prior history, it gets difficult to give people benefit of the doubt. Like things follow you in life, right? Reasonable or unreasonable or whatever it is. But we definitely have a storyline now.
We do.
And of all of the things to say about him, I do want to say again, this deck is insane. It's so good, and it's been a work in progress for him for months.
What the fuck is Promise of Plenty? Like, yeah, I had to look that one up.
Literally didn't know what that card was until they put it up on the screen. Pretty sweet. Love it. The idea of chain promises of plenty is wild to me. Yeah, the deck's awesome. It draws a bunch of cards, which is fun to do in this game. It does a bunch of different things. It's great. It's not Briar. It's not the Briar you saw throughout the rest of the top 8. Apparently, it has a good matchup against it. But so I don't want to take anything away from Matt's accomplishments because Matt did earn this. Just there are these other considerations to think about when we're building a community and a competitive scene as a whole. When you have this type of incident, so it's complicated.
Moving on to the calling. Our favorite light mommy has won, and Prism
get the fuck out of my game.
See ya.
Is
Goodbye.
gone. Goodbye.
Oh, that feels so good.
It's
probably not when we have Guardians every round, but
yeah,
as of right now, not having to like think through how to navigate Prism's maybes is gonna feel like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Apologies to our Prism stands out there. I know you're listening, and I would say I feel sorry for you, but I just don't.
See ya.
Yeah,
Bye.
get the fuck out. Top 8 was interesting though.
Yeah, top 8 was really good. The finals was really good. The way that Prism killed their Briar opponent in the finals, I had actually had the show notes written as if Briar had won. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap before I have to do anything, and then Prism started like gaining advantages. Briar started whiffing. I was like, God damn it! So I sat up a little bit longer, and then Prism won. I had to like open the laptop again and start typing out notes again. Prism won by it had is it Odarath that deals an arcane every time a source deals damage? Merciful Retribution. Okay, so he had 2 Merciful Retributions and a Soul Shield. And then he had the one that when it dies, it deals 1. Is that Odarath?
No, that's Merciful. Odarath is when they attack for 2.
Yeah, it hits for 1 and then deals 1 arcane if it hits. Yeah. So he had 2. He had 2 of the one that deals an additional ones. Yeah, and then had a Merciful Retribution, which his opponent didn't know. So he makes a rune chant and attacks, and then the rune chant is on the stack.
Spectral Shield, not rune chant.
No, the Briar opponent.
The Briar opponent. Yep, I know what turn you're on now. Okay.
Yep. So the Briar opponent's at 3. Prism is at 1. Briar opponent makes a rune chant and attacks, and it's like lethal based on the Prism player's hand, except he plays the requisite aura at instant speed, and says, "Yeah, your rune chant can resolve. My Spectral Shield will take care of it. Deal 3 to you." And it was awesome. It was so much fun to watch. Like, because nobody in the booth knew what was happening because like all Prism wars look the exact same, like all of the light ones.
They do.
And like, because he was like, he was like, yeah, that he points at the rune chant, goes, that resolves, and then points to the 3 auras, and the people in the booth were like, I don't know what those 3 auras are, and then. The guy gave the fist bump, like the patent fab TCG handshake. Yeah. And it's just 3 out of nowhere at instant speed from your own rune chant is awesome. It was so much fun.
You'd play Lightning Bolt if it cost 4 and killed your opponent.
Yeah. Right. Like, pay 4 when the game is over the card. So, this was a classic example of you probably should be investing some time in cleaning up Prism's auras. But she cleaned her own auras up. She's retired. So
sure did.
That was a fun match to watch.
It sounded like I'll have to go watch it. I was sleeping.
Lucky you.
Must be nice.
Listen, I have been dead to the world all day. Okay. It's
been nice.
It's been a rough. You stop it. You wanted to watch the race. Okay. So also out of the Pro Tour, we got our first spoiler for the new set. It's the Emperor.
Yeah.
He looks dope. Let me tell you about him. He is a young hero. He is a royal draconic warrior wizard. He has 15 health. And his ability, you can only have red cards in your deck, And then action, pay 3, search your deck for Command and Conquer, attack with it, and then shuffle.
I like this hero from a design perspective. I can't imagine ever putting one of these in a sleeve. Like,
yeah,
I like it a lot from a design perspective, a ton.
It's fascinating. I feel like they just couldn't fit illusionist on the text box, and so they put wizard instead, or on the type line or whatever. But I'm curious to see what the kind of support comes with it. One of the things I think is funny is I see a lot of people like, oh, well, I guess Command and Conquer is getting a reprint. Probably not. It was then, and there's a lot of the arguments of, but it talks about Command and Conquer on the Emperor. Yeah, there were cards in Everfest that talked about Crazy Brew. Crazy Brew wasn't in Everfest. That's not necessarily a thing. But I think it's very fascinating what kind of game plans you can build around things like Flamescale Furnace, drawing cards, maybe even playing, like, if you don't play the Flamescale plan, maybe you use Deep Blue or something, ways to just generate extra resources. Maybe you get more of those in Dynasty. We'll have to just figure it out and find out. But as of right now, like, I'm with you. I don't think that I could ever see myself doing this. It doesn't, it would be perfect for one of the meme nights, and I would meme the shit out of this hero.
Yeah, this is like a fun, like, I want to dick around at my armory hero. I like it from the design perspective of it's another hero with less life. I like when they tinker with those two things that we consider static. I like the idea of deck building restrictions around colors. I don't know how good or bad that will be. I just like that they do it. And I like the idea of like the attack mechanic that is going to be new. Like, so for people that haven't seen the actual card, there's a link in the show notes, but attack is bold on the card, which indicates that it's a keyword now. And I assume that it's going to mean something like play it for free. Like now.
It's you don't have to pay for it. It just plays it.
Part of resolving the Emperor's activated ability is play this card.
Yeah, so it's 1 tutor for it, and then 2 to play it, basically, is what kind of how it feels if you're breaking down costs.
Right. Yeah. 3 for an on-demand Command and Conquer is pretty good.
But if you only play reds.
Right. Like it's your whole hand, and maybe you get to Arsenal, but no, you're right. So like I said, I don't know if I like the hero itself is kind of whatever, but I do like that this is a very unique design space. There's a lot of things you can do with Royal. There's a lot of things that get interesting in Classic Constructed. Actually, an interesting.
It's only young, so
they're only going to do a young.
Right now, I think it very well could be a 30 life hero that gets released in the next set. Kind of like they did with Icelander, right? Where there was young Icelander in Everfest, and then when Uprising came out, they gave us adult Icelander.
The only reason that I think I agree that it might permanently be young is that it has a full title like an old hero as a young one.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Emperor Drakaya Vasir or whatever is not, you don't typically see the comma title
unless you're only young.
Yeah. Because you're right, the Dynasty wouldn't have a young old variant because like it wouldn't need to for like limited or whatever. So interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I like it less now. There was this thing where if this were a CC-able hero, you actually couldn't have weapons or equipment because weapons or equipment are considered part of your deck in CC. From what I saw on Twitter, and like they're part of like your inventory in Blitz. I don't know if that's true. I could just be saying nonsense.
I don't think that. No, that doesn't. I don't think that's right. If it is, then they're probably going to redefine things. But like that would mean that Prism couldn't play any, or like no, Prism can play non-yellow or non-yellow cards. Never mind. But like,
this is the first design we've seen of this. So
of only this, I don't think that that's.
Yeah, somebody said that as like hey, did you guys think about this? And I could just be making up nonsense about like they could have been making up nonsense on how like deck is defined and the in the thing. Like deck very well could just be defined to be. Actually, okay. Well, deck is defined in the CR as a collection of cards a player must have to participate in the game. So, that's interesting.
Well,
an inventory is not defined. So
what when you fill out your
deck list?
sheet for like what is it, like deck and then equipment, or like how is that?
yeah, equipment is actually separated in its own section on the deck list, on the deck red sheet.
Yeah, no, I mean, now that we sit here and talk about it, like it doesn't make, like, they would either redefine it or the definition is poor. But based on the definition of deck in the thing, it probably just needs a tweak. Like maybe define inventory separate from deck.
That's definitely. I don't think that's a thing. Like it's not going to be. The Emperor has no clothes, although it'd be kind of funny.
Unless they're saying that like yeah, that actually be just a hilarious joke, or that like they're referring to like the cards in the, like they're referring to the zone. Deck is defined as both general and zone, so you can only have red cards in your zone deck.
Your deck zone,
you know, whatever. Templating, poor CR rating is like a theme of my life right now.
Or templating on the card or whatever. I mean,
either
way, it's like seems like we're just.
This will be fixed if it's an issue, and I just saw it on Twitter. Thought it was interesting. Yeah,
is Blood of Drakai playable with this? I mean, like a lot of the Draconic just costs 0 anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like you're probably gonna have to play some ones and stuff, right?
Well, theoretically, like if you're playing, if there's a brand with Cinderclaw type thing that's Draconic only that changes type, like your CNC can cost 1 after pitching, you know, with a blood that's in your deck because it's Draconic now.
Yeah, that's true.
So like maybe there'll be some cool stuff to do with it. I don't know. Like it seems like a meme to me, but it's very cool. It definitely checks the boxes of cool.
Right, for sure.
Yep. As a reminder, SCG Con Columbus is next weekend. What?
Yes, I'm looking forward to this
weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. I'm looking forward to this collection of lightly attended events. Because Keith took care of that, but I think it'll be fun. I'm probably solo driving 10 hours one way to Columbus.
Just you?
But I think so. There's some people that were coming, and then the Brawl happening in October made people shift their plans to go to the much cooler tournament. And an event in general. Then there was just a couple of other straggler type dropout things, and it was like, well, I guess it's just me now. Which is too late to. Today was the last day for me to cancel my Airbnb reservation. So, well, I just have this giant house to myself all of a sudden.
Well, I think it's cool because I don't know how much I want to play in the LCQ, so we can just watch college football at your house all day.
We can,
or we can draft or something,
or we can play in the LCQ, and still be able to watch college football all night.
That's a good point because the LCQ won't take that long.
No.
So
yeah, that's but I know that I'm having a couple of the Pennsylvania people come and stay for a night or two, and then there's a few others. So I don't have it to myself. I think I'll be alone in it, like probably Friday night, but the rest of the time there'll be humans there. But yeah, it's yeah.
Are you going to be here in time for Armory on Friday?
Yes.
Cool. 7 o'clock.
I plan on leaving here. Oh yeah, easy 7. I plan on leaving here at like between either 5 or 6 in the morning. To start the drive. So I'll get there by 4-ish Columbus time.
Okay. I have to work till 5, but that's not that big of a hangover. So
it might be that I'm there at 5. It just kind of depends on what I do while I'm driving, if I stop it or anything else.
No, sure.
Actual food or anything like that.
Yeah. So. I just didn't want you to get here at like noon and be like,
no,
I'm gonna be all day. Okay,
cool. I also plan on stopping off at Sun King in Indianapolis on my way there and stuff like that. So there'll be
make a trip of it.
Yeah, there'll be I'll be a little slow in getting there, but I'll definitely be there before 7 before Armory at but you on the board, right? We're drafting up Rising at Beyond the board. Okay,
I think so.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. It will be awesome.
Can't wait. So we will see you guys there. If you are coming, let us know.
Well, I get a 3-way, right?
I was gonna hold them for the brawl, but I will buy. Have you ever had a 3-way before?
I have, yeah. But I feel like I
Oh,
deserve 2 3-ways for making this drive.
Okay.
I could price you into one.
You've already priced yourself into one.
Yeah. I'll get you one now, and then I'll do one when I have to buy like 10 of them in a month.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
There we go.
I'll spend $200 on fucking Skyline chili in a month.
Can't
Gross.
wait.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, if you're coming, let us know. We'll be around all weekend, so come say hi. And then the Brawl 2 is in October. It's October 22nd and 23rd. Saturday, 10K classic constructed event, cosplay contest, on-demand drafts, side events for VIP tickets, and then a speakeasy party afterwards, obviously. Sunday is day 2 of the classic constructed brawl, and then a 2K team sealed. We are still running our contest. Didn't want anybody to forget. It's a video of you and why you love us. It's weird. But
Flesh and pod, yes.
Yes.
Feeding the flames of our narcissism.
You don't have to be in the like video if you're worried about like identity or something like that on the internet. Like, we'll eventually have to know who you are to like give you your reward, but like for the purposes of your tweet or email or whatever, it can be like a video of like your wall as far as we care if it's funny.
Yeah.
Or if we like it or whatever.
And submission wise, in Discord, on Twitter, email, basically any way you can think of to get the video to us is acceptable.
Yeah. We have some really good ones. So you have some stiff competition, but I hope you enter because I'm a narcissist.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, but you're a fun one. If there's such
like
a
high
fun narcissism.
Yeah, high functioning.
That's
sociopath.
not
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. All right. All right. So we have 2 listener questions this week. The first one is from No Dice, Keith G. What advice would you give to a returning player that was out the entire summer for entry into the game? Example, what to play, what to look for, and what are the new combos?
Well, this is tough to answer almost, Logan, because I feel like we're going to see a big shift now. And I don't want people to like if you came in, you obviously came in enough time to ask this question, you're here at the time. We've just had a reset. So,
yeah.
Rune Blades are still doing the thing. You didn't miss that. That didn't change.
It'll never change.
Yeah, like we're going to have an LL. Prism's going to go away in 2 days. So,
2 days.
like the next event you play in will not have Prism, probably. So, like, who knows? Yeah, and that's cool. Matt Foulkes' deck is probably the newest, like, I don't know, combo is not the right word, but like
iteration,
unique deck that we haven't seen. It's actually maybe the most unique deck we've seen in Flesh and Blood from its deck building like perspective. It is very innovative and like I think has the potential to change how we build decks. He only lost 1 classic constructed match all weekend.
Right.
His other loss came in draft. So like, you know, phenomenal deck building. In terms of anything else, what am I missing, guys?
So for me, it's step 1. Ask yourself the question: what do I want out of Flesh and Blood? What do I want out of coming back into this game? Do I want to? Am I here to be competitive? And what juices me is winning? Do I want to? Am I coming back in because I enjoyed the game mechanics but just didn't identify with anything? Are you coming back in because you miss the community and want to have fun? Because and what type of fun do you have? What parts of these are what you're looking for? If you're looking for, I want to play the best deck and be hyper competitive, regardless of how much fun I have playing the deck, it's probably just Briar right now. Although Guardians are going to start popping up more. If it's, I want to, I identify with a play style. What's the best part of that play style to be competitive? Okay, well, there's answers for that too. It's such a broad question that it just kind of depends on where you're going with it. If you want to endpoint right now, I would just start playing and grinding as many Uprising drafts as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get Icelander's going to be a real hero without Prism around. Like that's a deck again. that will do some fun shit. And then you'll get you get a really good idea of how the deck plays by drafting it. Dromai will probably be replacing Prism in some form or fashion. Mara's already posting fucking Khaleesi gifts in our Discord. So her standing has just shifted one notch. But the point being that so your new illusionist type is you can draft her an Uprising and see if you like the playstyle. Fi is also still a pretty big part of the meta, even though it didn't make the top 8. It still performed pretty well in the classic constructed rounds and definitely in the draft rounds. So you can draft Fi and find out if that's your playstyle you like. So Uprising, just grinding Uprising drafts gives you a really good idea of what the different playstyles are coming and what to gravitate towards for your enjoyment. That's probably where I would start.
I mean, I want to draft all weekend now. You said
every time I fucking start talking about it, I just want to draft.
Yeah,
it's the goddamn.
I don't even know if I want. I don't know if I want to do Uprising drafts
on Friday.
But we're gonna draft Friday Uprising. Saturday we're gonna play this LCQ and go back to Logan's house and watch college football. But we should also just like buy a couple of boxes
and just draft.
I won't play the LCQ, but yes, we can buy boxes.
Yeah, we can cube. We can buy boxes and draft. We can. There's so much.
We can talk about the cube I want to make. We haven't done anything with it since we talked about it.
I didn't know that you. Oh yes. I do remember.
Yes, the three worst.
Oh, the three shit hero cube. Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
That one's pretty great.
It's actually pretty ghastly.
Yeah.
Every game's in a draw. We don't have the ability to kill each other.
Yeah, we can't actually kill each other. Every deck starts with one drone of brutality, so at least somebody can win.
It's a token.
It just gets it's a token. It's blue drone of brutality.
Oh my god.
God, that's so fucking dumb. I hate it so much and I love it.
It's so funny.
Yeah. But like we can, I have an 8-person table in the Airbnb. I have outdoor seating too, so if it's nice outside, we can chill and have a few beverages or whatever. But then we can just go back and just draft, get 8 people and just draft.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. It should be easy to harangue 8 people.
Box of WTR, box of Tails, box of Uprising, and just start popping off some drafts.
I've never drafted Arcane Rising.
Ooh.
So I think that's what I want to do. I'll buy the box but
no, I've got a source for boxes of Arcane Rising. I'll pick them up.
Cool.
I just got to make sure I hit up our buddy, the Griddle Master before I leave town. That's it.
It's supposed to be 79 to 83 all weekend with very low chance of rain.
I'm into this.
Love it.
Play around a golf one of those mornings too.
Oh,
but Taylor, Griddle Master, for those who know him on Discord, he hunts deals like a fucking savage. And so he found a store that was clearing out their Flesh and Blood inventory. This was a while ago. So he bought all of their Arcane Rising. It was loose boxes, not cases. But it was $26 a box. And bought their entire inventory. So he just has them sitting in stacks at his house.
Oh my god.
$26?
It was either 26 or 36, yeah.
What?
Wow.
Oh my god, good for him.
And then we're thinking, these are just search boxes. And out of those boxes so far, somebody pulled an eye, somebody pulled a grass.
Oh, so they're not even mapped boxes?
Nope.
Yeah, wow.
Sure aren't.
People that don't know what we're talking about, you can get a good guess on what packs are in what box based on a case, based on like the printing patterns from the set, because the way the cards come off the printer and in a pattern. If you know the case number and you know the box number within that case, you can get a good idea of what packs will be in the thing. It was very common in Magic, but I don't
think it's as common in this.
Yeah, I don't think it's as common in
outside of
legendaries, which have a determinable number for the most part. Yeah,
they were hard mapped in Monarch first. So
Uprising might be an easy thing to map because they have a very set there's always one equipment, there's one Draconic, there's one Ice, and then from there you can maybe. But I don't know if it's as easy to track as that makes it sound.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Magic was. So
no, Magic you literally had predictive mapping.
Yeah, to the pack in the box, you would not get certain. The way the pack sat in the box, you knew this one was bad. It was.
Yeah, you'd open pack 1 starting on as you're looking at the label on the top left. Opening pack 1 would give you the idea of where you were in the print run, and then you'd open pack 2, which is the pack I think directly underneath it, if I remember right.
I think they went left to right. Yeah,
and
left
then
down, right down.
Yep, and then if you open that pack and you hit your prediction, congratulations, you're golden now, and you can actually tell exactly what cards are in which packs.
Weird time. Yeah, you had to have a lot of information going in to this, but like if you had enough cases or enough boxes, it was very easy for like an LGS or whatever to map.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
there you go.
Fun fact.
Question number 2 is from Teague, and it says, I'm on Abby's side here. Thank you, Teague. If you had to build a mechanic around poison counters, how would they be applied and what would they do?
Good Christ, Teague.
Thank you, Teague.
I would do something like from Magic where if you got 10 of them, you lose. Maybe a hero that could actually attack, and if it dealt damage, it dealt a poison counter, like an assassin.
I like the assassin idea. I would have different. You can't really do that. If it's a strict poison counter, I would have the poison counter just be an intellect penalty, and then
interesting.
A hero can't have more than one, and then the counter comes off at the end of their turn. So they draw after they draw up for their next turn, it goes away. Then you'd have to be able to like make antidote or serum cards as defense reactions that can get rid of it, or instants that can get rid of it, whatever. Or attacks that have that keyworded that they hit, you get rid of the poison. You could do something like that. I was actually thinking that like if you had different types of poisons, that'd be cool. So you had one that gives an IP, one that makes your first thing cost an additional resource, one that blanks your text box on your hero. There's a lot of, I think there's if you want to play the poison counter game, you can have different types that do different things, and it becomes a bitch to game state track, but at the same time, it's actually kind of cool if you think about it. I'm no game designer, but
I like sorry, Abby, go ahead, because I don't want to steal.
All I ever wanted was poison counters on the permanents that we have in the game now. that was what I originally wanted. Now it's this whole thing. That's still what I want it for. You give them a poison and it puts a -1/-1, and if they get to zero block, it goes away.
So I was thinking more along the lines
that was what I wanted.
If you put a poison counter on the permanent, they just take a damage every turn until the permanent's gone.
Yeah, that's cool. I also like the idea of maybe like poison, like you have one poison counter at the end of your turn, you remove a counter and it deals damage equal to the number of counters that you had.
That's good too.
So like if you have 5 in step, you take 5, remove a counter. If I give you 3 more on your next turn, it goes up to 7. You take 7, remove 1, go down to 6. So like next turn you'll take 6.
I would do it the other direction. I would say remove 1 and then take the damage. But
okay, sure, that's fair. Yeah, whichever way.
I'm just thinking of what would be the hardest tilt to one side, right? Like how fucking difficult or how painful would it be to like take 7 and then remove 1, and you're taking 6 next turn. It's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, that's fair. What's fun to think about when we have these conversations, like we said, I'm not a game designer, you're not, Abby's not. I don't think it's within most of our like direct skill sets. There's people's whole fucking jobs to just sit in this room and talk about this shit. Like, hey, what's a poison counter do? And that's a meeting on a Monday afternoon. Like that's hey, let's talk about what a poison counter does. And there's 4 hours of people just going, well, what if it does this? Well, it should do that. And then they argue about the dice thing, and that takes up 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden they get paid. And it's like, what the hell?
And all of a sudden they get paid.
Yeah. 2 years later, I buy the fucking cards that they talked about. Like, that's crazy. That's awesome. I would be so bad at that job, but I want it.
Yeah, I would love it.
LSS, if you're listening.
Yeah. You don't have to pay me a ton either. You just have to move me to New Zealand and pay me the closest thing to a living wage, and I'll just take your socialized healthcare.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. We're not asking for much.
Not much. I'm asking for like $30,000 a year, and healthcare. Like, fine.
Yeah, what's the New Zealand currency?
Dollars, I think
they use. Oh, they do. Oh no way. They use the New Zealand dollar.
Yeah, it's not USD.
Oh, sorry,
it's
you
not
said
USD,
dollar.
it's
Okay,
ZD. Yeah.
it's the 60. It's 61 cents to the dollar. So 30K here is equal to 49K there. So
fine. It's probably good enough to if I'm
Right.
having to pay for healthcare. Like
right. That's like the most of my paycheck. Like,
do they get like a million days off work too, like every other country? Okay, great. That's all I've ever wanted.
hey, you get Labor Day and Christmas. So how about you be happy to be an American? God damn it.
Oh, I get way more than that. Holy shit.
only get Christmas. Christmas Day
No
is the only
shit.
day we're closed. We rotate holidays, but I could work any holiday except Christmas Day.
I get like 13. Working in financial services is the fucking best.
We get national one if it's a national holiday. Plus, we get they just gave us Indigenous Peoples Day instead of MLK instead of Columbus Day. So
I mean, it's the same day.
Oh, is that just a rebranded day? Okay,
it's just rebranded. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, we get normal core holidays.
Yeah, and I get Juneteenth. I get.
Oh, do you? That's cool.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah, I get a ton of holidays, and then we get floating holidays that are given to us, and then personal holidays for our own personal religious observances. Yeah. Like my PTO pool is quite good for America.
What do you even need free healthcare for? You seem adequately compensated. What do you want? More rights? God, what is this, socialism?
Yes, I want. Yes,
you want to be happy and free and healthy.
I want to be happy and free. You are correct.
Oh, next you want to count in kilometers?
That's fine too. Or liters. I like liters. I drink liters of shit all the time.
I want everything about Canada sans the metric system. I want to ask Google how many cups are in an obscure measurement every day. That's what I want to do. Hey, Google, how many teaspoons are in a cup? I need to know that. And Google tells me. Google's not helpful if I go, how many grams? Shut up.
Yes, it is.
Well, I could just do that math because it's easy because the metric system is intuitive.
Right. Oh, right. Abby is the button. All right.
I love
Move it along button.
All right. So let's do our shout out for our Patreon. So we have our executive producers and up. So we have May, Alexander, Philip, Taylor, Ed, Josh, Kenny, Nick, Ricky, Teague, Ben, Corey, Alan, and Michael.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I love it.
That's great.
I love it. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. You can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I have tweeted more with my lack of sleep these past 2 days than I have in a very long time. There's been a lot. So you're welcome for that.
That's how that works?
Yep. Listen, Pablo Pintor is like every single one of them.
Well, I guess you're bordering on Twitter fame now. So there's that. You're probably the highest retweeter of the Possum Every Hour account of anyone.
Did you see today's? It was so cute.
No, it wasn't.
So cute.
It's a goddamn
I don't
possum.
typically like these, but this one was pretty cute.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson, not tweeting about possums literally ever. But now there will be a lot of fantasy sports mixed in with the Flesh and Blood content. So if you engage with that, let me know. We do have a sports and gambling channel in our Discord that you can always join into those funds. I did add a pickle posse channel to our Discord for the pickle lovers out there. Jordan, if you right click on a channel and click on mute, it no longer gives you notifications.
Do you think that one does it too? I think that one will also remove notifications.
It does. But we are a podcast of the people, and we give the people what they want, and the people wanted a pickle channel. So I gave them a fucking pickle channel so they'd stop flooding General with their pickle discourse.
Hold on. I don't think anybody wanted a pickle channel. You guys didn't want the general nonsense to have pickle in it. So that's...
Just to talk about the people and what they want, Kentuckians vote for Mitch McConnell for Senate. So sometimes the people need guided towards the correct path. And
if you
There's
think
a lot
about
of different things under this thing, and one of them is delete channel. I don't know.
Mitch McConnell gets a lot of money into Kentucky. He's basically the New Day Henry Clay. And so I get it. I don't like it. He's a fucking ghoul, but I get it. Eventually history is going to see him in that way. And it'll be like, well, yeah, he did all these things, and it's like, yeah, but he was a fucking monster. But history rewards monsters, as we can plainly see if you just open a fucking history book. Also, you can find me in the Discord, as I just alluded to, chatting about virtually everything except for Pickles, because that channel is muted. I stay out of that shit. There's a lot of obsessive people over these green, long, phallic, briny things. So we're just gonna leave that for what I just said. Jordan, where can they find you?
Oh my god, not in the Pickle Posse channel.
God no.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at I'm Jerman. Tweeting Flesh and Blood, a lot of Flesh and Blood. Really hyped for this game right now. It's really good at the moment, and I'm having a lot of fun doing stuff with it. In our Discord is probably the best place to get a hold of me. Like, if we share a server, so like the Flesh and Pod one, you can DM me directly. Like Logan mentions pretty regularly. I'm also going to be active in the sports and gambling channel, because the sports gambling pick'em league that I'm in starts off. Yeah, actually, the deadline might not have came. I can send you deets about this, but basically every week you make 5 picks, and it's against the spread or the over under, and you get 10 points if you hit, minus 11 points if you are wrong. And
perfect.
Like at the end of each quarter, there's a payout, and at the end of the NFL season, there's a total champion.
I hear high amounts of degeneracy, so please give me the deets.
Yeah, I will. I want to make sure that the deadline hasn't expired. It might have expired before week 0. But if it hasn't, I'll send you the info.
It's not week 0 yet.
But for college, it was this weekend.
This is college.
Yeah, it starts this week. It started this week. You're eligible.
Then we're probably.
I think it combines week 0 and week 1, so you might still be okay.
Oh, okay.
But it's really fun. So each week I'm going to put my picks in there. If you don't give a shit about sports, this means nothing to you. But if you do, you'll get some Jordan picks in the Sports and Gambit channel.
A little shot chaser.
Yeah, just a little. If you want to lose money on a parlay, take my 5, because I've never 5-0'd. So that's it for me. But please reach out. Please keep doing what you guys are doing, especially those of you in our Discord. Holy shit, it was so cool. Like, we had like the Dagon White fan chat, basically, is what Pro Tour Lille was. It was so much fun, man. Cheered him on, and I know that Saturday didn't go the way we had hoped, but like, holy shit, the kid's great, and like, it was fun to cheer him on, and it was fun to feel like there was like this actual community behind a guy, and like there was like one person per brain cell, and that was cool. So like, that was fun. Anyway, that's it for me. Where you can find me on the internet.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is all we have for this week. If you're coming to SCG Con, please let us know and come say hi.
Patreon.com/flesh-and-pod, right?
I already did the Patreon.
Yeah, I know you did, we go to our things.
But I'm trying to think, because like I think I fucked that up once, didn't I?
Patreon.com/flesh-and-pod, yes.
Okay, good.
And pod, yeah. It's in the show notes.
I know I fucked that up.
Don't listen to us. It's in the show notes. The link in there works. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. If you're coming to SCG Con, let us know. Come say hi. And we will talk to you there. I think that's it. Okay, bye.
I got nothing else.